see that idealism. You have to know all these characters. You have to know how the game works, which the first half of the movie does really well, to understand why it's not really working the way it appears to be working from the outside in the second half.
Well, you know what? I mean, you guys have pretty much said, all three said the same thing. And I echo the same thoughts. I mean, except that I was never bored. I was sitting there thinking through the first half. I'm like, oh, okay, I was thinking political thriller, and this is more like an Aaron Sorkin movie. But, okay, let's see where it goes. And only to, like, at the point where I was like, it'd be cool if it was a thriller. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. And, yeah, I thought, of course, what you said about dominoes. To me, it was like, watch somebody set up dominoes. And at first you're like, dominoes. You're like, huh. Well, wow, this actually might be cool when he gets to it. And then there's a little baby playing on the end that's going to knock them all down. And you're like, no. Get that baby out of here. And, man, I love the fact that, I like these movies that George Clooney, really, he comes out to make. Because, I don't know, you can tell it's just such personal projects. They're small, but they're effective. And Ryan Gosling, can't say enough about him. He's like the new Brad Pitt, where he's like, yeah, I could go with the whole looks thing, but I'm a serious actor, and I want to do good work.
And he pulls it off.
He really does.
Well,
and he's
you don't have to convince Corey
about how likable he is, because he's a character. He's a character who you could not like. He's a little asshole-ish, kind of brash. But I mean, besides being the main character, you see completely where he's coming from, and even when he has a turn, to the dark side, it's like, well, I totally see how he got there, and I can't say I wouldn't have done the same.
Well, he's the audience for a little while. I mean, he really is the audience for a little while. He's there doing what he believes in, what he strongly believes in, as far as how things should be run in a campaign.
I would say he's the audience for the whole film. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much is, and just to see him get put in a position that he gets put in, you're kind of thinking like, what would I do? It's another one of those movies where you put yourself in the character's position where it's like, what would I do? How can I play this? It's now I have to be a fucking card shark, and because I'm playing with these guys who've been in this game, and they're telling me now that I'm the idiot. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and you're just like, you want to see you're rooting for this guy throughout the whole movie.
Well, that's the winning element of this film, I think, ultimately, is that not only is it setting up a really interesting commentary about modern day politics and, falsely placed enthusiasm and optimism, but it's a really human story. I mean, we feel everything Ryan Gosling's feeling on a real base human level of betrayal and the urge for revenge, and then just straight up just crushed disillusionment. You can't tell me that last shot of that film isn't something that's going to haunt you for a while.
Oh, no, it was heartbreaking to see what this guy goes through, but I wasn't, I'm not going to say I was completely bored with the first part. It's not, I mean, it's just, it went on so long that I was like, I don't understand where this is going until they got to the second part. In fact, the strongest part of the first half is that they have so many actors who are coming in and acting with each other. I mean, this is George Clooney. George Clooney just walks into like Paul Giamatti's house and like, come on, we're making a movie. Right. he's like, man, I'm not even finishing my cereal yet. He's like, let's go, come on. But you get to see all these actors, and it's a great cast. I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Paul Giamatti, to mention
Evan Rachel Wood,
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei is a pretty aggressive, nosy reporter who is somewhat leading people to believe that she's their friend just to get a story. She's also she's not immune to the politics at all, the corruption of it, because she's also proven to be a backstabber. I mean,
it was very much an avatar for the press in general.
It's great to see all these interactions with these characters and these actors play out. Now, when they get to the second half of the movie, what they set up in the beginning with it having such a real feel to it, the second half, which I like better, doesn't feel very realistic anymore to me, because it feels like it's a film war thriller that didn't play. That it's the way this is played out is in the movie world. I don't know. I'm not in politics. I don't know what goes on behind the stage here, but the thriller that they have here felt like a movie thriller. Granted, a good movie thriller, but not as believable as what they set up in the beginning. However, I can praise that second half because what they've done is it is a thriller. There's all kind of things that we see in a typical thriller involved, but you know what? You don't see any gunplay. You don't see any gun chase. I mean,
no chases,
any gunfires. No, not even a foot chase. Anything. What you get is what you see in some of the best parts of television writing today. Because I think television writing is a lot better. You see a guy get caught up in one situation after another, and those situations start to stack. And you're like, there's no way in hell this guy's going to get out of this. And if he does, I like to see how he does it. And then the character turns on the screen and just says, okay, let me show you how I do it. And then they manage to somehow wriggle their way out of it and turn it to their advantage. Although this person ends up maybe not with a gunshot wound or any blood splattered or anything.
It's not that kind of thriller.
But you see a person's soul just slowly get wounded and die after a while.
Which is why I don't think the way they solved it is anywhere near how Hollywood would have done it. Because Hollywood would have had the fucking gunshots. It would have gotten to a point where it was ridiculous. And they wouldn't even bother to have had that first part to establish who these characters were and what they're about.
Yeah, a lesser film would have inserted a murder mystery. And this one at best just says, well, if you want to imagine that, you can. But that's not the way politics works.
You get one scene where there's a couple of guys who look like goons, where the time it most seemed like it might go that way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. Yeah. Any other film, it would have had Tom Cruise and he would have been running his ass off down the street for some reason. Probably for no reason.
Hanging out on the side of the building for no reason.
No, things
washing windows.
I mean, and it's not even always danger or corruption. It's just scenes where somebody's being just scolded and it just feels bad. Philip Seymour Hoffman is a campaign manager here and he values nothing more than loyalty.
Yeah.
And when he feels like he's been betrayed, I mean, the way he scolds Ryan Gosling in this movie is just shit. I felt like that was his daddy, man.
And there's times when, like scenes like that where the dialogue works to a T. I mean, it makes me want to go watch Glengarry Glen Ross, though if it had that caliber of writing throughout this entire movie, wow, this be probably my most favorite movie to see this year.
And if
which it isn't.
If there's a weakness, it's probably just that it felt like with the quality of everything else, and it is a very high quality plotting. It felt like the actual dialogue could have been taken up, a couple notches.
Oh yeah, easily.
Like it could have really used someone like Sorkin writing in there. And as it was written by Clooney and two other people who I'm unfamiliar with. It's still a really decent film. It's just that we're so used to holding this sort of film versus that other type of writing that it was awkward for me at first watching it for that reason. I don't agree with you at all though, Corey, that it's the second half is unrealistic. I mean, it feels like the kind of thing that actually happens all the time. I mean, like I said, there's no gunplay. There's nobody doing like weird hyperbolic stuff that's out of place. I mean, everything feels extremely organic to me in the sense of everything we've seen.
That's why I hate to criticize it because, like I said, it just and I'm saying this in comparison to the first half of the film, like. It feels nowhere like it's set in the same world as the first half of the film.
I do know what you mean, how the first half had sort of that quasi-documentary
feel. Yeah,
and
then like I said, it feels like it's a film noir thriller in the second half. And like I'm not trying to even like hold that against the movie except for the different feels and tone because I think, without taking into account that first half, it's a well-made film. I mean, that second half alone is an extremely well-made political thriller. I just wish it if the movie had made up its mind what it wanted to do. I'm glad that they kept the tone for the second part that they have instead of putting that to first. Because if you're going, if you're going to have to me, that's the better half of the movie. And that was the most interesting part, and the part that gripped me is what they went out on. So yeah, I really like this movie.
You give it a rental?
Yeah. The captain has to come in and get. This is your captain speaking, man. No, man. I like I said, to criticize a movie like this seems like you don't like it. It has problems. Saying that is saying that it's not. I don't think. The jury's still out for me if it's going to be one of the best films of the year because we still have time to see if there's going to be better. But as it stands right now, it is one of the better movies I've seen this year, and it does deserve a full price.
Oh, okay. You had me scared for a while then.
What you think I was going to do? You thought I was serious?
Man, some days I can't tell with you.
Yeah. You're doing that little George Clooney bobblehead thing when
you be trying to say full price, and the captain comes out. Your leg cocks up like Captain Morgan. You're like, I give it a full matinee.
Like I'm choking myself. What, bitch, what?
Well, the two-face thing going on. Hold on, let me flip my coin and see which side comes up.
It's matinee on one side and matinee on the other.
Yeah, but it is scarred on one side too.
I'll let the fans decide.
At least I'm not like you, where when I can't decide, I try to creep out of here with 2 ratings. I give it a small, low full price.
Yeah, you're like if you were a superhero in that case, you'd be like the multiple man.
Leon, you gonna give a full price with a side of bullshit?
I'll give it a full matinee. What the fuck is that, man?
Well, I'm not going to do that this time.
Good.
Because maybe I like the movie way better than, well, maybe not way better, but better than y'all, because what you're saying is complaints. It's like, well, I acknowledge how those things may have not worked for you, but I had no problem with it. It was completely enjoyable all the way through. And yeah, that first half that was Aaron Sorkin-ish. I suppose if Aaron Sorkin had wrote it, it would have had snappier dialogue, but it would have been a little smart-assy too, and I think that would have not worked well for this movie. I think it handled everything perfectly, at least for me. And I love the whole sucker punch it does. The thinking like, oh, okay, it's one of these, and to slowly get backed into a, oh shit, I did not see that coming. So yeah, one of my favorite movies of this year. It's a full price.
Yeah, although I can totally see why this is going to be divisive with some people, and I heard people arguing in the hallway coming out of it, like critics getting heated.
Really?
Oh yeah. Some people clearly did not like it, but I really liked it a lot, and I was left at the end with exactly how the movie wants you to feel. Like co-host was saying, like that Ryan Gosling's character is kind of the avatar for the audience. In the end, you go through all those emotions as well. You're like first like idealism, and then like betrayal, and then the urge to strike back, and then ultimately just empty. Exhausted, just totally disillusioned, which is in this particular case, example of art being great. And, as sad as it made me feel, it's a full price movie.
This movie was badass, action packed. Loved it every minute of it. It was. Like I said, I liked the fact that I walked in cold and I rolled in cold, and it was. It was rolling out of there, I was like, wow. Now that is the power film, because I think I saw like one trailer. I was like, okay, George Clooney, all right. I didn't even know he was directing it, but I was like, all right, we'll see how this goes. And like I said, the first part it had me stumbling a bit, but as soon as like the main plot kicked into play, I was completely glued to the screen the entire time. I thought the acting was incredible, and I loved the outcome of it. It didn't really have me questioning it at all. So yeah, this is a full price, and I was not fucking disappointed.
Yeah, you got to say though, and just to some of our fans who are younger, if you really could care less about politics on any level, this is not a movie you're going to like. I think it does require a certain amount of that. I know at least the bare minimum about how this stuff works, and I do actually give a shit to hold an audience's interest, because that's an hour of this film that's pretty much just that.
Or you might be more interested in politics when George Clooney becomes president and turns the White House into the Playboy Mansion.
There you
go. We all know about politics.
Now, see, what would happen is like we would vote for him, waiting to see that, and he would spend his whole time talking about Darfur and having no parties.
Like, man, what the hell is this?
Yeah, that's even more disappointing.
Seriously, we're expecting the Rat Pack and the new Rat Pack in the White House.
No, that's what
he's here
need.
solving problems and shit. What is that?
Yeah, okay. Enough with the solving problems, man. Let's party.
No, that's what we need. Shit, he got the problem solved for Darfur and Sudan and all that. Get those little black kids in a crate and ship them over here. Let them party with me. Shit. In fact, ship all of America over. God damn it. George Clooney for president.
Yes.
I'm gonna work for you.
Revenge makes people unpredictable. I can't have that.
What if I had something else?
Like what?
Something big.
Next president of the United States of America, Governor Mike Morris.
You really want this story getting out?
Dignity matters.
You were off the campaign, but you thought it was important to fix things.
Integrity matters. Our future depends on it.
Steven, don't do this!
I'll do or say anything if I believe in it, but I have to believe in the cause.